Hi, Ironic Atheist here, and this is my response to Muslimview's 10 questions for atheists. And I'm just going to start right away. Number 1. Why atheists usually blame religious people. It's not that I blame religious people just for anything, or you should have specified like what you meant. So I don't know how to answer that. Maybe you can respond. If you mean like what I normally blame them for is more like, for example, they do in fact cause wars, they do in fact beat down people for being different, so it's not blaming really, that's just pointing, it's giving credit where it's due, basically. 2. Who created the universe? Now, I've pointed out in another video that I don't really believe that it was created. In fact, because of the theory of conservation, which you mentioned in your video, but you didn't understand what that means, is when energy is destroyed, it's not converted. I mean, it's not destroyed, it's converted. When matter is destroyed, it's not destroyed, it's converted into more another type of matter or energy, or that energy when destroyed might turn into another form of energy or matter. It's all basically conversion, but you say who created the energy and or matter. Now the point of the theory of conservation is that if the matter, hey Jay, fuck you.
Oh crap!
Fuck you. If, in fact, matter and energy has always been the same amount, then we conclude it's been the same even before we've been here. And thus, this is why I don't believe it was created. I believe it's always been here. Number 3. Design of creation is very complicated. First of all, I don't really like it when someone says something is complicated, or for example if someone says something looks designed, mainly because, take this into account, when you have a musician, or when someone plays music, let's say there's a song and someone asks you to play it. Now if you've never had any music experience whatsoever, then it's not going to be very easy in any way to you. But to someone who's had years of experience in that line of work, it would be just like that. It would be that easy. Now, basically what my point is, to you it may seem complicated, but along the lines you would get to a point where something seems complicated compared to what you're calling complicated. Thus nothing is really complicated, just that it seems more, how do you say, difficult the lower you are down from it. And this is, you're automatically also assuming there's a reason for everything. You ask why the design of creation is very complicated. Why, I mean, that's a very, I guess, broad question. I mean, what if I ask why does it need a reason? Why does it need a reason to be complicated? And why is it even complicated in the first place instead of why not? Number 4. What's the purpose of life? Once again, who says there has to be a purpose of life? And if there is one, then why claim to know it? It could be a million things. Do you have any evidence knowing what the purpose of life is? No. In fact, there's this one quote I once heard that it kind of doesn't go on the purpose of life, but the purpose of existence in general. If it goes like this, if in fact someone did learn the definition or the meaning of existence, then perhaps the meaning of it would change, or maybe it would no longer have a meaning. I don't know how. That's kind of actually going over my head, but whatever. What? Oh wait, shit. Sorry. What the purpose of life? I don't know. To me, it's live and let live, basically. That's my motto. Well, not mine originally, but it's what I live by. 5. Why does humanity have a desire to worship someone? You sure that's humanity? I mean, I don't think it's necessarily all humans, because I don't have no desire to worship someone, and I know plenty of people who don't. Sure, there are people that seem to, but I think that's more of an individual thing than it is humanity altogether.
Yeah, like me.
6. Why were we given mind and intelligence? First of all, we can be sure of awareness. Yes, we can be sure that we're aware. But can we be sure that our awareness is even exactly how we think? For all we know, we're all... as I've heard this example before. What if we were all in jars in a mad scientist's lab who was activating brain stimulus, and that's what this experience is, really? We're just brains in jars that a scientist is testing on. How would you ever know? You wouldn't. But this is why you don't assume either, and you assume that we are in fact intelligent. For all you know, like I said, we're freaking brains in jars, or they're kind of like the Matrix-like deal, but yeah. But this is why you don't assume. 7. Where does all of the incredibly complex information come from that is stored within DNA? I'm kind of content with saying I don't know. I mean, just because you don't know, if you don't know, it's not I don't think it's logical to suddenly go, God did it, or someone did it, and maybe it happened on its own. Maybe the own universe is working. I don't know. Like I said, I'm content with saying I don't know. 8. Why is there a good side in our nature? Mainly because it's not really a good... like, it isn't to an extent, but good and evil isn't really objective or subjective. Whichever one, I always get them mixed up, so... whichever one means that it does not actually have any actual bead in the real world. Mainly because when someone does something... we don't judge based on what they do, but why they do it. If someone, let's say, kills somebody on purpose, I don't think that compares to someone accidentally killing somebody. They're not both looked at as, what the fuck? Okay? And if someone does something good, but at the same time, maybe someone's doing it to get something in return. Maybe someone is getting paid to do it, or maybe that's not even as kind as if someone did it out of their own kind heart, just for that reason. So, but why is there a good side in our nature? Mainly because of the old philosophy, I'll scratch your back, you scratch mine. Or, you scratch my back, I'll scratch yours, or whichever way. Doesn't really matter. And by following this dichotomy, you have it to where we would be, like, if I do something good for you, you might do good in return to me. It's basically kind of a survival thing. If we're nice towards one another, we'll do things for each other. Yeah, so... 9. Are we responsible on our deeds? Yes, we are, mainly because if you have a guy running around in society just blowing heads off, that's going to seriously affect society. As simple as that. And you may go along with the lines that, well, if there's no real purpose to anything, then why should we even care about each other's lives? Once again, I don't know, maybe there's a purpose for things, and maybe there isn't, but the fact that we don't know is why we keep going. 10. Who created the cause? Now, once again, you're assuming that everybody accepts some kind of beginning. Like I said, I don't even accept a beginning. I accept an always was. So, yeah. Anyways, ironic atheist here.